Hey man, ever checked inside? Ever wonder why you can't get down in there? I'm talking about your inner space. If you constantly find yourself escaping your thought stream or thinking, it's just some random thoughts. No, those thoughts come from somewhere, and avoiding them just delays the bill with additional interest. Maybe you're not where you want in life because of these thoughts. Maybe it's not about solving the very problems you're facing these days, but your relationship to these problems. Do you see a pattern? Are they recurrent? Do you always end up in the same place? Bear with me few minutes, and I'll tell you how to make some serious order in this thought stream. 1. You can't go where you want to go if you don't know where you want to go. Do you actually know where you're going? Yeah, you have a plan to make money and you know what to do for fun. But do you know what will feed your soul? Maybe soul is not precise enough. Do you know what are your core needs? Not talking about the Maslow pyramid either. But what is going to feed your life? What you'll remember and be proud of on your deathbed. Now, I'm not going to tell you the classic, take risk, do what you want, you only live once, etc. Sounds good on paper, but the reality is much more sophisticated than this, and yet most people still struggle with making difference between pleasure and happiness. There are some questions we're not asked in school. Most people only focus on their major and the salary amount. That's it. I mean, where are the important questions? Like, what are your ambitions? What do you want to accomplish in your life? What are you naturally good at? What is your personality type? How do you want to contribute to society? Do you want to work with people? What kind of hierarchy do you want to evolve with? Do you like leading, or do you prefer receiving clear directions? Would you want to take on the responsibility of a team? Would you want the responsibility to work for yourself and be your own boss? Can you handle having a boss? What kind of environment do you want to work in? Do you want to work in a very organized structure, flexible structure, inside an office, outside? Do you like traveling for work? Do you prefer a big company, small company, in a big city, in a small city, in the countryside? Do you want to do something more creative or more intellectually challenging? Are you willing to work a lot or something more balanced? What level of risk are you willing to take? Do you want a family? At what age do you imagine yourself having children if you want some? Do you want to own a house at a young age, or would you rather travel the world? If both, are you willing to pay the price to make it happen? Do you want a love relationship? If yes, what kind of partner? What kind of friends do you want to be surrounded with? If one of these questions got you wondering, I invite you to pause or rewind and write them down to answer them for yourself. They are important. Feel free to comment around this in the comment section to share and contribute to the tribe. I'll be happy to read and answer. The list of questions goes on, but no, school got us busier, learning how to calculate the angles of triangles. I don't want to point all the fingers at school. It's a complex topic for another video. Point being, most of us have not been actually prepared for life, and some people die without ever approaching these topics. Feel lucky if you figured them out already. And remember, there is no age to ask yourself the right questions, and there is no such thing as knowing oneself too much. Self-awareness is an endless journey. 2. People living in your head rent-free. Maybe your mom or your dad or your grandparents, your sibling, your neighbors, Katie in high school, or even your coworker Brad are stuck on loop in your head, running magic spells on your subconscious. Having people telling you negative stuff in your head make you a prisoner of their words. Now, we're social animals. Everyone is not doing something because of someone else's opinion. Maybe not sociopaths, but you get the point. There are layers to this. It's a spectrum. It's not binary. Don't think people you cross in the street escape this rule. Some are more subject than others, but there is no 100%, I don't care what people think. That's not true. Maybe some are not as sensitive as most, but everybody has an ego. Everybody has the same reptilian brain, with survival instinct, and everybody somehow relates to society. That's what we are. We're social animals. Stop thinking the grass is greener somewhere else, and that some people run around like free and careless butterflies on LSD. Those who live quote-unquote freely are those who have received the proper education around this very topic, or those who have done the proper work. Guess what? It's not the majority of people. We're not going to talk why here. That's the topic for another video. Point being, you don't want to be in a head full of other people judging you every step of the path. There will be a point where you'll want to do something and you'll feel resistance because of someone else's voice. When you catch yourself wanting to do something and not taking action, go within. Dig in your mind and find the voice talking to you. The most challenging is when the voice is not someone else's anymore. It's your own. Sometimes seeds have been planted for such a long time that you actually made the voice yours and you are the one telling that to yourself. And it's okay. Being aware of it is the first step to diffusing it. There is no stopping something without knowing there is something. Once you spot it, you have to understand it. Where does that come from? Why do I think this? And listen to what comes up. Once you have an answer, reframe it, fix it, put what you want in it, and put it back in. It's easier said than done. It's a muscle you have to build over time, and I'll address that in future videos. 3. The bags you're holding like a mule. Ever walked 10 kilometers? Okay. Ever walked 10 kilometers with a bag full of heavy stones? I know you already understood where I'm going with this, but hear me out on this. People who hurt you in the past have some quote-unquote cords attached to you. Imagine it as an invisible link or Bluetooth connection with them. It's like you're still connected with them. It's like they are part of you. I'm not talking about what we discussed earlier in the video with people living in your head. That's different. I'm talking about the weight attached to the experience. If someone hurt you, betrayed you, abandoned you, rejected you, humiliated you, or caused you injustice, you're going to feel a weight attached to the experience. One of the best ways to start detaching from this person and this cord is to understand why they did it, their reasons. You can't always know that, but remember, everyone has a different journey, and at the end of the day, they did what they could with what they had at this moment. And you have to understand why you let this happen, or why you could not prevent this, and have to accept it. Be kind to yourself, and understand, like the other person, you did what you could with what you had at this time. I don't believe anyone is actually born evil. There are only people who suffer. Look at the movie Maleficent with Angelina Jolie. Maleficent was just a funny little cute fairy having fun with life. She fell in love with a human that betrayed her to gain access to power. She then, out of revenge, hurt someone else who had not asked for anything. This echoes with the Pandora box myth. Pandora box in Greek mythology is the box that contained woes of humanity. The box has been opened out of curiosity, and all of the woes spread among humans. Woes build evil. People get hurt and hurt other people. That hurt other people, etc. And every hurt person passes it on the other, until someone truly learns forgiveness to others and to oneself. That also explains a lot about transgenerational traumas, but that's the topic for another video. The music of Maroon 5, Memories, is talking about this. The lyrics go, "Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday." And the funny thing is that when I heard it for the first time, I thought, hey, a lot of people hurt me. That makes sense. I have to forgive them because everybody hurts sometimes, right? But I think there is a hidden meaning in the song. It reminded me that despite all the best intentions, despite the best of my heart, despite all my healing efforts and the love I wanted to spread, me too. I have hurt sometimes, I have hurt someday. Show some love to yourself. Be kind to yourself. See you in the next video.